Welcome to Faithful Echoes Bible Study. Today we are going to be diving into John 15, verses 1 through 17. We're going to talk about abiding in him with the vine and the branches and the true calling. Jesus said, "I am the true vine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch in me that bears no fruit, while every branch that does not bear fruit, or that does bear fruit, he prunes, so that it will be even more fruitful. You are already clean because of the word that I have spoken to you. Remain in me, as I also remain in you. No branch can bear fruit by itself. It must remain in the vine. Neither can you bear fruit unless you remain in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit, because apart from me, you can do nothing. If you do not remain in me, you are like a branch that is thrown away and withers. Such branches are picked up, thrown into the fire, and burned. If you remain in me, and my words remain in you, ask whatever you wish, and it will be done for you. This is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. As the Father has loved me, so I have loved you. Now remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commands and remain in his love. I have told you this so that your joy may be in you, or my joy may be in you, and that your joy may be made complete. My command is this: love each other as I have loved you. Greater love hath no man than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I have called you my friends, for everything that I learned from my Father I have made known to you. You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit that will last. And so that whatever you ask in my name, the Father will give to you. This is my command: love one another." I am the vine, and the Father is the gardener. These words from Jesus, it opens up probably one of the most intimate and powerful teachings in the New Testament. It was spoken on the eve of his crucifixion. These words aren't just poetic. They're a roadmap. They're like a roadmap to kingdom living. In John 15, Jesus paints a clear picture. He is the vine, and we are the branches. The Father is the gardener, and our purpose is to bear fruit. Not just any fruit, but fruit that lasts. Too often we read this passage and we think it's all about productivity, doing more, achieving more, producing something visible. But that's not what Jesus meant here. He's calling not for busyness. He's calling us to abide in him, for remaining in him, for spending time with him. He says, "Abide in me and I in you." These words abide, it means to stay connected, to dwell, to remain deeply rooted in, not visit occasionally, not to reach out only when we're in trouble, but to live in him, to breathe in him, to receive life from him. Just as a branch receives its nourishment from the vine, a branch doesn't strain to bear fruit. It simply stays connected, and the life of the vine flows through it naturally, producing the fruit that it was made for, right? So when we just abide in Jesus, it's not about us doing. It's about being in him and allowing his life to flow through us. So what does it mean to bear fruit in this context? It means to become more like Jesus in both character and in action. It means our lives begin to reflect love, joy, peace, patience, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. You can find this in Galatians 5:22 and 23. but it's not manufactured. It comes because we're connected to the source of that fruit. And Jesus doesn't just say bear fruit. He calls us to bear much fruit. And the fruit he's after is love in action, really. He says plainly in verse 12, he says, my command is this, love each other as I have loved you. That's the kind of fruit he's looking for, not status, not success or recognition, but love. And not just feeling love, but choosing love. Now, here's where it gets real. Jesus continues, greater love has no man than this, than to lay down his life for his friends. We hear this and often jump to the idea of dying for somebody, sacrificing one's life, jumping in front of a bullet, pushing somebody out of the way of a car and getting hit yourself. And yes, that's part of it, a selfless act to protect another. But Jesus isn't only talking about physically dying. He's talking about laying down your life, not just once, but daily. To lay down your life is to say, I will set aside my agenda to serve someone else's need. I will interrupt my day to make space for someone else's pain. I will choose forgiveness over bitterness, humility over pride, listening over speaking, and service over comfort. Laying down your life isn't a marathon. It's about maturity. It's about growing. It's a daily practice of surrendering our selfishness and picking up love instead. It's asking, what would love do here? A true love, a real love, a love that comes from Jesus. It's the small, quiet choices that often carry us the biggest eternal weight. When you rise early to pray for your children, when you take the time to encourage a discouraged friend, or even when you serve your spouse by spouse without, keeping score of, I did this for you and now you owe me. We don't want that. We just want to serve and care for and provide for and love the people in our life. That's what laying down your life means. That's abiding love. That's fruit, right? That's bearing much fruit. And Jesus makes it clear. This kind of fruit is not optional. It's not a maybe today, maybe tomorrow. It's not optional for his disciples. This is to my Father's glory, he says, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples, 15:8. Literally, if you bear fruit, you are showing the Father that you are the disciples of Jesus. And there's a connection here that we can't miss. God is glorified when we bear fruit. And we bear fruit when we stay connected to the vine. So staying connected to Jesus glorifies God. That means that the pressure isn't on us to make something happen. Our job isn't to perform. Our job is to stay close to Jesus, to let him prune, let him shape, let him nourish and strengthen us, help us to grow in a healthy way. And when we do, his love begins to flow through us and impact the world around us. This is why Jesus says, I no longer call you servants. Instead, I have called you friends. Servants obey because they have to. Friends obey because they want to, because love compels them to do so. When we abide in his love, obedience becomes overflow. That's the beautiful tension of the Christian life. We're not called to grind and strive. We're called to remain. We're not called to die a physical death every day. We're called to live sacrificially in love for our brothers. This is what makes the kingdom so upside down. The greatest impact that you can have may not come from a stage or a spotlight, but from just a quiet moment where you choose someone else over yourself. When you hold your tongue in a heated moment, when you stop and pray for a friend who's hurting, when you offer your time, your talent, your giftings, that treasure without expecting anything in return. These are moments of life. That's the fruit of a life rooted in Christ. That's the result of abiding. And Jesus ends this passage by saying something very powerful. He says, you did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit that will last. That word appointed carries so much weight. You were chosen to live a life that impacts eternity. You were set apart to bear fruit that outlives your name, not because you're strong, not because you've got it all figured out, but because you are connected to the vine. The fruit of your life is never really about you. It's about Jesus flowing through you. So today, take an inventory. Are you abiding? Are you staying rooted in his love, in his word, in his presence? Are you abiding there? Are you bearing the fruit of a life laid down, not lost, but given instead for others? Let your life preach louder than your lips. Let your love be the evidence of your connection, and let your daily choices reflect the one who has chosen you and you and you. Because when we abide, we don't just bear fruit. We become a living invitation for others to know the vine for themselves. And that is a beautiful gift and responsibility that has been placed on our shoulders. So with that today, I encourage you all, think about what it means to lay down your life in your everyday, what it means to offer of yourself without expecting in return. And most importantly, what it means to abide and stay connected with the Father. Love you guys. Remember, there's beauty, there's grace, and there's greatness within you. Now go there and share that with the world today. We love you, and we'll talk to you next week.